Hey, caregivers. I was just thinking about a visit that I had this week. If I had a nickel for every time I heard this from folks saying, whenever I ask the question, well, who helps you? Who can give you a break? And the response that I hear almost overwhelmingly is that, well, my daughter lives close by, but she works and she has a life. My son, yeah, he lives down the road, but he's got family and he's really busy and he works really hard. And while that is all very valid, and it is true that your other family members do have lives and they do have jobs. But what about you? You have a life, you have things that you need to do as well. And yes, maybe you are not out working a full time job on top of being a caregiver. And maybe you are. I always surprised by folks that I meet. But you matter as well. And one of the things that I found very interesting from caring for my father in law was that everybody assumed that my son wasn't available to help. They say, well, he's really busy. He's got work. He's got this. He's got that. And he actually got mad. He was like, why is nobody calling me for help? Why is nobody putting me into the equation? I live right 20 minutes away. Why is nobody calling me for help? We did. We added him into that equation. A lot of times, what I see happening a lot is that people might reach out in the beginning and say, I might need a little help. But if we don't get those big responses that we were hoping for, or we also kind of get set in our ways as humans, right? We're used to doing something a certain way, and changing anything can be difficult, which again is human nature and understandable. But I really want to change that narrative of, well, they have their life, they have their things, they're busy. Where, yes, they are busy. You're not asking them to move in with you. You're not asking them to drop their kids off on the side of the road and come over and help, but asking them to help, putting them on the list, and inviting them in. It does a couple of things. Number one, it also values the other members of your family. A lot of times people do feel left out and they might not know how to care, which is where my caregiver team planner does come into play, because it really does give a concrete list to hand to people and say, can you do any of these things? And I was very purposeful to not put on there like a lot of direct care items, because a lot of times people can't do that. And that is a very intimate thing. So maintaining that level of intimacy and protection for the person you're caring for is very valid. And you might have a routine that works really well. So maybe you don't need support with that, but there's a million other things that we do every day as part of the whole care picture. And seeing if you can hand some of those off. Could you get your friend to pick up the prescriptions while she's at the pharmacy and drop them off for you? So then maybe rather than running to the pharmacy to pick those up, maybe you could take that time and go to the bookstore, go to the library, go sit by the river, go to the craft store and see what's out there, or just go sit outside for that time that you would be spending standing online waiting for that prescription. Maybe there is a person who lives far away who can't get here, but maybe they could help coordinate home maintenance tasks. Maybe they could help coordinate shipments of supplies. It's taking another thing off your list. So it is not asking people to move in with you, to not interact with their kids or do the other things that they need to do, but it's giving you a little bit more time. And anything off that list is one less thing that you have to think about. And you can focus on those tasks that, yes, there's only you who could do that. So the next time you think, well, they're really busy, they don't have time to help me, I just want you to pump the brakes. Just take a minute and say, well, what if I ask them to do this? Or if somebody says, and I see this a lot in my job where they'll get a phone call that says, we can send somebody over in an hour. They had a cancellation, and people will say no because they're like, well, I'm not sure what I can give them to do. And I'm like the number one cheerleader. Say yes, yes. Even if you can just step out of the house for an hour, even if you can just take a shower, take a nap, anything, say yes. It's okay to say yes. It really is. And again, ask your kids, what can they do? It doesn't have to be in the home with you and your person. So I'm Marguerite. I'm the caregiver whisperer, and I talk about real things, real life. And I really hope to be part of your journey. I see you, and I hope you have a calm day. Take care.